Hey everyone, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday. It's Tuesday, May 18th, 2010, and this is Jennifer. This week we're going to be talking about a question that Beshnila had last week after I requested that you guys ask what you want to hear me talk about. Today we'll talk about stenciling. We'll be teaching a stenciling class this summer at the Honeybee Quilt Store. I showed my sample a couple of weeks ago, and I will put a link to the actual class registration page. So her question about stenciling was about designing stencils and about using more than one color. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the Talk to Me Tuesday t-shirt stencil, and I'll talk about how I made that and how I designed it and then how I stenciled it. So this is the stencil, which you can get on my website for free, and I'll put a link to that as well. The Talk to Me Tuesday stencil comes from the Talk to Me Tuesday icon that I created for our group, which has the old-fashioned microphone with the Talk to Me Tuesday done in sort of a typewriter-y, wonky typewriter-y typeset. And what I did for this is I took the image of a microphone and I actually opened it up in Photoshop. I played with the brightness and the contrast until I had just the shadows from the microphone. I actually drew in the neck of the microphone myself because it just completely disappeared when I was working on the microphone head. And this is just a font that I typed out in Photoshop until I got it the size I wanted. This is actually a little smaller than the way I'd like for the stencil to come out. So, I mean, you can enlarge this a bit. I printed mine directly from Photoshop. This is the one printed from my website. When I stenciled mine, I stenciled it in 3 colors. And I have got the stencil, this is the cut stencil, the used stencil, and it's just on a piece of white fabric. And let's see if I can stand up a little bit so you guys can see. I did Talk to Me Tuesday in grape. The head of the microphone is in silver, and then this is in charcoal. And when I stencil more than one color, if the colors are really distinctly separated like this, I stencil it all at one time. But I do have stencils where I've done the stencils in layers. This is an example of a stencil that I needed to do in more than one piece. This was a t-shirt for a group that my husband was in online, and I needed to have this circle, this triangle, and then the snake in the middle. Well, I ended up doing 3 stencils. I could only find 2 to show you guys. I do keep most of my stencils if I think I can reuse them. This is the circle stencil. I had another stencil that had the triangle cut out, and then this stencil was the snake, and then instead of having these attached, these are all the little inner circles, I had them all separate so that I didn't have to go back and touch up. And the stencil was pretty complicated. It took me a while to get it all stenciled, but it came out really effectively, and if I could find this t-shirt, I would show it to you. If I find it, I'll put a picture in. Okay, so I found the t-shirt, and you can see how it's got the triangle, the circle with the snake inside, and each of those were stenciled separately. Another stencil that I've done, and I've actually used a couple of times, this is the stencil that I used for my monk's bag. So that was this, which I've shown on a previous Talk to Me Tuesday. And this stenciled pattern actually came from the batik fabric pattern. I actually took a picture of this, enlarged it, and then just cut out the design. So, and cut out the part that I wanted to have on the stencil. And then the reason you can see more than one color on here is I later used this on a blouse that I had gotten bleach on, and I just put it up here and stenciled on top of it, so I have a coordinating blouse. I've done recently a couple of t-shirts, actually 3 DFTBA t-shirts. They're fighters. This is the DFTBA stencil, and this also has floating inner pieces. Whenever I don't have to leave these pieces attached so that I don't have to go back in with a small brush and touch up, I will leave these big pieces like this, and then I'll just line them up. You iron it down, and then you do your stenciling. I do have a how-to stencil video. It is, there's no talking at all because it was before I was doing Talk to Me Tuesday and I didn't really know a lot about making videos, so I did sort of a video with captions, and so I'll put a link to that here so you can go have a look at that if you haven't already. I know a lot of my Talk to Me Tuesday friends started stenciling because of that video, and I get all kinds of interesting comments for the video because it's a Team Edward shirt that I was making for a swap, and it's a fun video. I enjoy it. Also, oh, I gotta show you my stenciling tool. This is my X-Acto knife handle. My dad bought me this when I was in high school, I think. Actually, I don't know if he bought it for me or he just gave me one that he had. I can't really remember now, but I was working with some stencils in art in high school, and that's really when I started stenciling, but I did a totally different kind of stencils. I cut them out of cardboard, and I used them for art projects and not for fabric, and just totally different kind of stenciling. I know I don't stencil on walls. I have been asked that. I don't, if I'm painting on walls, which I do occasionally paint on walls, I chalk in my drawings first and then I paint. I don't do that on fabric because I just find it way too complicated because fabric moves, but if you have a stencil iron to it, it tends to stay put. My best advice, if you want to design your own stencils, is to use someone else's stencils a couple of times until you get the hang of it, and then I think it'll click for you. You'll find that once you understand how a stencil works, that it'll be really easy to design your own stencils. I have a couple of other really cool things I want to show you guys. I've been talking a little bit on my my personal journal that I'm working on starting my own pattern business, and I have filled out a bunch of the paperwork so that I will be legal, and hopefully soon we'll be selling patterns that I have designed. All of my fandom patterns will continue to be free, so please don't worry about, you know, losing access to Harry Potter patterns and anything like that. All of my fandom patterns will continue to be free. Primarily I'm looking at project patterns, so patterns for wall hangings and things like that, so you would do an entire project pattern. Though I probably will sell some individual patterns as I come up with those. I have a few for sale on Etsy, and I'm looking for the ideal place to set up shop, so I will let you guys know. Virtual shop, I should say. I will not have a location, but I will have an online store. Dragonflycurls on Etsy made me this awesome, so if you can see this stamp. So here's my stamp. She hand carved this, and she does beautiful, beautiful work. This is the header from my website. She even got the trademark on there, which I adore. And it came on this cool little wood backing, and I glued an empty thread spool to it so that I have like a handle for it. Also, I have one more show and tell, something I've been wanting to show for a while, something my daughter made. She's 15. I think she made it when she was 13 or 14. This hangs in her room, and I've been threatening to borrow it and show it for a while, so I have to show this to you guys. She made this totally on her own. This is just sort of a decorative mobile that she made, and if you can see, it's made out of a styrofoam Sonic cup, so it's completely recycled out of a Sonic cup, and it's got beads that hang on the bottom, and this hangs in her room, and I think it's really cool. So I just wanted to share a little of my kids' craftiness with you guys. If you have any suggestions or ideas of things that you would like to see me do in upcoming Talk to Me Tuesdays, let me know, because I don't mind showing what I'm working on every week, and it's a lot of fun for me to be able to do that, but I love being able to tell you what you want to hear, because then I know that you're listening. I know that whatever it is that I'm talking about is what you want to hear about. Q-Tab would like everyone at some point to wear fake mustaches, preferably crafty fake mustaches. So if you guys are feeling up for a theme sometime soon, wear an artificial mustache and use Q-Tabs. I just made a huge blog post on the Sewhooked blog about Linus on Saturday. It's the last big blog post I'm going to do about log cabins for Linus and Go Get Granny, so go check it out. There are lots of gorgeous donations. So I think that's it for me today. I will see you guys next week. Bye.